about is this 2-day market that is in Macon, Georgia. I am, yeah, I'm relieved that I've gotten the application off. Now we have to wait and see what they say. And I felt a little bit, I kind of questioned whether I wanted to go through with filming and telling you about the market without knowing whether I would be accepted or not. Because I felt like if I'm not accepted, I'll be embarrassed. But at the same time, not that I won't be embarrassed if it happens, but I do want to I want to take all of the pieces of this journey. Life is not something that always ends in a positive note. Life is not always easy. So why would we expect business things to be that way too? And I'm new at this. And if I do get a disappointment, I will keep rolling like a lot of us do with a lot of things that happen in our life. I don't want to hide that. And that's me kind of talking to myself as well as me talking to you. I'm very excited about it because it is a crafting market. Get out of here. um, Herbetican decided to come in and make funny faces while I was recording. Anyway, it's a crafting market, so they do not allow any mass-produced items. And I really like that because I feel like the customers that are going to be coming, because this market has been around for 25 years, they know what they're coming for and they're expecting small batch items, crafted items, locally made items, handmade items. And that's who I want to see my items. They're going to find value in it because when you have this crafting thing that you're doing, of course, it's more expensive than mass produced pieces. And what you'll find is that people will say like, oh, I can get that cheaper on Amazon or whatever. And if that's how you feel, you're not my target audience. Not saying that I don't buy things from Amazon, but because I do. The quick backstory here, the funny thing is I almost missed this application deadline, and thank God that I did not. I was working my 9 to 5 and then had an idea that jumped in my brain. And I thought, oh, let me go to my little notebook, write down this idea before I forget. I was opening up the notebook and turning the pages. When one of the pages I turned, I landed on this list that I was keeping of these markets that I had did research on. And I had the deadline and the price for this one. At this point, it's January 7th. And I saw the deadline said January 15th. Now, they do have another deadline, but the second one is for if all the slots are not filled the first time around. Also, I won't find out until the end of this month or beginning of February whether I got accepted or not. And the next set of applications won't be reviewed until the beginning of February. And those people won't find out until, I think, end of February, which means that other markets that if I don't make this one, I can't to apply, or I don't really want to apply to those until I know about this one. Why? Because you all know how it goes. You need either your money up front, or if they do accept you, you have to pay within like 24 to 48 hours. If this one's still out there and I have the chunk of money that this one is, I'm sitting out there. Also, funding wise, I need to keep track of this money and I don't want to be tied up. But then the other piece and the reason why I wanted to wait is because this is a 2-day market and I want to make sure I adequately prepare. And what if I get into this one and then I also get into another one? Am I able to manage both of those? Those thoughts swirling through my head, and the reason why I wanted to just make sure I get accepted to this one. I rushed and got everything together that they wanted to get it mailed off. That way I can be considered for the first round. And I still got to prepare. I need a tent. I need some other table displays. I talked about that in a previous video in my market recap. So make sure you check that out. Where I talked about my lessons learned. But yeah, wanted to get this video started. And hi. That's where we are. And now I need to, get back to, actually I need to record another video. Let me look at what time it is. At 13 minutes. Actually, I think I can get this other video recorded for my other YouTube channel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. and then get back to my 9 to 5. I'm on my lunch break right now. Y'all know how it goes. Y'all folk that are out there that still work a 9 to 5 and do this on the side. Got to make the most and be productive with your time. All right, so I'll talk to you in a second. You'll see another clip. Okay, bye. Y'all, why did I randomly wake up this morning? As soon as I opened my eyes, I thought, that photo that you used to show the UPS store an example of the type of photo you need, did you put that one in the envelope to mail off? About 3 times so far today, I have had to keep myself from going to grab the envelope where the receipt and the application instructions were and looking in there to see whether or not the extra photo is in there. Because I know if I look, I'm going to just rack my brain and replay it in my mind and just punish myself basically, thinking about, oh, if this impacted the outcome of the decision on whether they're going to accept me to the market or not. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm doing my best. So far I haven't looked. But I just have to hope and pray that whatever, if that was meant, if it's meant for me to be in that market, I will still be selected with whatever information I provided and leave it at that. The deadline's today, so it's too late anyway, but that still doesn't. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I need to map out making a scrub cap. So those, you'll see people in the medical field, they'll wear them, but basically it's a scrub for your hair to cover your hair for surgical departments, other areas as well. And a lot of times I use cotton, and I want to do a bamboo line one. I have some scrap fabric that I'm going to use to try to figure out the sizing, the shape of it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to work on. I just had to share it with you guys. Y'all comment down below if you had something similar happen, or even if you haven't, would you be reacting similar to me? Like, the more I think about it, just my heart does this. So we're going to move on. You guys know, you're watching this. You know what I mean. Hey, y'all, it's Sunday. Let me close this door. I am sorry about the lighting. Let me sit this down. I am getting dressed. Let me try to. Propping my microphone up over here. Hopefully you can still hear me, but I'm trying to get dressed. And there is a group here in the Metro Atlanta area that I learned about through a wonderful lady I was vending next to for my holiday market I did in December. And I looked them up, and they have a sip and shop actually that they are doing today. They do it every Sunday. It looks like they're doing it every Sunday. But I realized that you can't build business on an island, and you need a network. And I want to check out the group, see how they're organized, just kind of get a gist of their vibe through the sip and shop to see how that goes, to hopefully help me make a decision on whether I am going to pay for the the membership fee. It's for a year from what I can gather, but I'm going to email them just to be sure I have all the information. But from what I see, it's a year long, $200. It allows you to have vending opportunities with them. They also have meetings, classes, networking, just meeting other women that are in the same, not in the same industry, but they're doing similar things. They're small business owners. So I am trying to look cute, stylish. The temperature is quickly dropping here in Georgia for the weather that's coming in. So let me just show y'all this is what I have on. Can't see it full. Pull the sleeves all the way up. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go by myself. I would rather go with a person, but going by myself will also force me to
talk to people. And I don't plan on being, it's from 7 to midnight, which is pretty late for a, Sunday, which most people go to work on Monday morning. Or I'm trying to concentrate. So it's pretty late, but I still want to, hold on, there we go. Still want that. Still want to go. Luckily, we are out off work tomorrow. So even though I don't plan on staying there till midnight, usually I'm wrapping up my Sunday and winding down doing self-care activities at 7. So here it is. You can't see this necklace. Maybe I shouldn't wear it. I might not wear this necklace because you can't see it. I wanted to do a layered look. Maybe if I pull my shirt down, it'll work. Oh, hey. This is another small business owner, Fancy Homebody. Check out her website. If you have not heard of her. And these are earrings by another small business owner. She actually is a really large YouTuber. I'd say, yeah, she's humongous to me. But I know for people who are at 500,000 subscribers, she's considered a smaller YouTuber. But she has over 100,000 subscribers, so she's a huge YouTuber to me. But she has a business called Living Fearless. So check out hers. I like her jewelry. I'm gonna do I love a headband. Hence why I make headbands. So we're gonna do this one with my little hairdo today, and yeah. Hello, everybody. I am back. Wanted to do a quick recap while I'm getting dressed and getting undressed. Yes, getting undressed. So I'm obviously back from the vendor event. So a couple of things that I wanted to point out. I still want to reach out to the networking group, is what I'm going to call them, Small Business Network, to ask them a few questions. One about what the fee covers, also the plans for vending opportunities for the rest of this year, and then also what other opportunities they have for the small business owners that are members of their organization. Because I don't want just vending opportunities. Like I mentioned before, you can't really build a business on an island, and I want those connections with other small business owners so we can collaborate. We can get ideas from each other, learn from each other, help each other out. And I see the value in that as well. And is the reason why I still want to reach out to them to find out more information. So I will be planning on emailing them with those questions. Now, the vending event. Temperature wise, today was extremely cold, which is a rarity in Georgia. So not ideal in that sense. But what I have seen so far is that if the events, they're Sunday, which it looks like they do them every Sunday, those Sunday market opportunities, those are not for me. The time is very late, especially if you work a 9 to 5. It's from 7 to midnight. And I'm willing to do the grind. So, of course, I wouldn't sign up for a vending opportunity every week, even if I had not gone in general. But at the same time, that one's not a good one for me. Even outside of the 9 to 5 thing, it was not set up in an ideal location. I don't know whether the lights were off, just happened to be off in the front area where it leads to the bar. So like the entryway to the bar, that's where the vending was, or whether they just don't have lights there, period. But at least today, there were no lights. I should have asked if there's usually lights, but you couldn't really see. There was only space for maximum 4 vendors. Maybe you could squeeze in 5, but really, yeah, 4 vendors. And that's not, in my opinion, enough vendors to have foot traffic be interested in seeing more, because usually customers want to, if I could quickly look from side to side and see how much people have, and then it's also dark, it's just not something that entices me to continue or want to look and see what's there. In addition to that, the location they were at, you have to pay for parking, and it's in Midtown Atlanta. So the parking is pretty expensive. For me, I paid for 2 hours. I was back home. I'm back home before my second hour is even starting with parking. But those vendors had to pay for longer than that. And I know it wasn't free for them either to park. And like I said, it was $15 for me for 2 hours. So the fact that I'm sure their parking was probably $40, or maybe they cap it out because of usually when it's like if you're going to park for 4 hours, then it's maybe like $50, or maybe not, hopefully not $50. Maybe it's $40 or something like that. Hopefully that's the case. But if not, you would have to sell a whole bunch more just to make up for the parking. And then since it was in a parking deck, it makes it harder for you to get to the location where they are. You'd have to come down some steps in order to make it to the spot. So it's not really an easy setup either. So for those reasons, the Sunday markets don't seem to be, it doesn't make sense for me. They do have Saturday ones, is what one of the vendors was telling me. So that's good to know. And then it looks like they have other opportunities, hence why I want to reach out just to find out more information before I make a final determination on whether that's the route I want to go. But the lady that I spoke with, she was nice, and I don't feel like it was a bust, but I did. Sometimes you're going to get out there and I didn't, it'll be a bust, and sometimes it wasn't. But I don't feel like it was a total bust. It was just, I learned some things and I was able to just see the setup, which was valuable, and I learned some information. All right, so I'm going to eat my dinner and I will talk to y'all later. Ice cream and cake and cake, ice cream and cake and cake, ice cream and cake and cake. Guess what, guys? I left my phone in the other room, but we're going to go ahead and record this anyway. I have been accepted into the Mulberry Arts and Crafts Festival. This is that 2-day festival that I was talking about. So got the news. I'm excited. And I am working on a second round for the scrub caps that I would like to add to my products for the festival. So let's go over there. But very excited to share that news with you guys. Now the prep for the market begins. Luckily, different from my last market that I did, the holiday market, I got roughly 2 months to get things together. That's always good.